Hello and welcome. Um, I'm so fucking hyped right now. So we are here. It is Thursday night, October 26th, 2023. Um, Alan Wake 2 has just released, like not even 2 minutes ago. we're fine. We're finally here. I'm so excited for this game. I loved Alan Wake 1. I loved Control. Um, Let me get through these initial menus real quick to make sure everything looks as good as it possibly can. I do want HDR. Um, sure. Continue. Yes, yes, yes. I'll do quality because I want these videos to look good. Continue. All right. So before I press X here, we got a lot to talk about. Um, I don't know in what capacity this game will like refresh you on the story of Alan Wake. And hopefully it doesn't do one of those things where it skips to a cinematic or something like a lot of games do. But just in case this game doesn't, I'm sure it will in some way, but just in case it doesn't, I want to sit here for a bit and just kind of summarize my own knowledge of the story and go through Control a little bit as well. Also, I've noticed there's no sound coming from the game right now. I don't know if that's normal. Um, but anyway, so Alan Wake 1. Let's go through that. I'll try and get through that as fast as I can. And if this isn't really something you're interested in, this is being pre-recorded, so you can skip ahead. Alan Wake 1 stars the character Alan Wake. He is like this fictional, like noir detective crime author, and he's written a book series starring a character named Alex Casey. Fun fact: I think Alex Casey was actually meant to be Max Payne because Max Payne was Remedy's like first game way back in the day. But I don't think they have the rights to Max Payne, so I think that's why he was named Alex Casey. Anyway, Alan Wake is kind of like hot off like a press tour of his latest released book, but he hasn't written anything in a long time, and I think he's in like this writer's block. Also, he's pretty much a drunken asshole, and he's a total dick to his wife, Alice. Um, and their marriage is like strained and shit. So they kind of decide to take this vacation, like kind of like a last ditch effort to save their marriage or something like that. So they take this vacation to this remote, like old mining town named Bright Falls. And this town is like super like removed from big city life. Like they have their own like local radio station, and I'm sure they have like no internet and shit. um, so they get there, and they end up renting this like isolated little cabin in the middle of the lake that's in this town. It's a lake called Cauldron Lake. And when they get there, Alan finds out that this was all basically a setup by his wife, Alice. Alice had been talking to this doctor, this like psychologist named Dr. Hartman, who had convinced Alice to get Alan Wake out to this town so he could like study Alan Wake because he's like some kind of psychologist who studies artists. Uh, it's kind of weird. Anyway, for whatever reason, learning this sets Alan Wake off, and he gets super pissed. And he and his wife have a fight, and he storms out of the cabin, And then he hears like her scream, and he goes back just in time to see Alice being dragged into the lake by like this dark entity of some sort. So he dives in the lake after her, and um, after that he wakes up, like he blacks out, and he wakes up in the middle of like a car crash in the fucking mountains. And long story short, he had lost like a week of time. Like he doesn't remember the entire past week of time. And he ends up finding pages of a manuscript that he doesn't remember writing. And those pages are authored by him. And they're depicting events that he's living out in real time. So basically, his writing is coming to life. And he doesn't remember writing any of this. So kind of skipping ahead to the end of the game, you find out that there's some kind of power linked to Cauldron Lake. It's called the Dark Presence, and it enables artists and writers and creators to bring their creations to life or into reality in some way. And the Dark Presence had taken control of Alan for that past week and forced him to write a story that would have resulted in the Dark Presence escaping to like our dimension. Because it's trapped in its own like isolated dimension called the Dark Place. Um, but Alan Wake was like just barely conscious enough during that week to like leave little bits and pieces in his writing to help himself later on. So that's kind of what enables you throughout the game to beat back the Dark Presence, and you eventually get back to the cabin so you can read the last page of the story and write the ending to it because it wasn't finished yet. So basically, what happens is Alan Wake trades himself. He goes into the lake, into the Dark Place, in exchange for saving his wife Alice. So Alice escapes, she runs away, and Alan Wake is trapped in the Dark Place. And that's kind of where the game leaves off. It's like a mega cliffhanger. So that's Alan Wake 1. And Alan Wake, the character, he has been trapped in the Dark Place. He's been trapped in that dimension ever since then. For like the past 13 years since the first game came out, he's been trapped there. Um, then we have Control, which came out in like 2018, 2019, something like that. Control, I have to nerd out about Control for just a minute because Control, even if it wasn't connected to Alan Wake, that game is so fucking good. If you haven't played it, I highly recommend it. It's one of my favorite games. Control is literally SCP Foundation, the video game. And if you don't know what SCP Foundation is, just look it up on the web. It's a really cool creative writing website. But anyway, brief summary of Control. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about Control, just what's relevant to Alan Wake. Control is about this government organization, this like super top secret government organization called the Federal Bureau of Control. And they basically monitor and contain and secure all kinds of like supernatural shit. And even the facility they operate out of, the oldest house, is supernatural itself. Like you can't find this place unless it wants you to find it. And disregarding all the events that actually happen in Control, it does establish that it's in the same universe as Alan Wake, and it also establishes that the events of Alan Wake are called an altered world event. It's an AWE, which is like a classification for like supernatural events that happen anywhere by this Federal Bureau of Control. And in the DLC for Control, Dr. Hartman, who I mentioned earlier, had been taken into custody at the FBC, and he transformed it into like this hideous monster. So like it's very very in your face that Alan Wake is connected to this. Um, the uh, the other thing that's been on my mind a lot lately is during Alan Wake, and it's also shown kind of in the DLC for Control. You learn about this character named Thomas Zane. And Thomas Zane is like a poet way back in the day. He was like the first person who the Dark Presence attempted to control to like escape its own dimension. And Thomas Zane's approach to all of that was to write himself out of existence. But Alan Wake wrote about him, so he's like back, but it's also like this chicken and egg scenario where like we don't know if Alan Wake wrote Thomas Zane into existence, or maybe Thomas Zane wrote Alan Wake into existence. It's fascinating to me. Um, anyway, Control also gives you the impression that Alan Wake may have written into existence the entire concept of Control, like the entire FBC, the threat that you have to fight in that game, all potentially all for the purpose of creating a hero that would help Alan Wake escape from the dark place. So that's a possibility. We don't know it for sure if Alan Wake created everything through his writing. There's going to be a ton of questions, and I fully expect this game to be like super vague on giving any answers to anything. But anyway, Thomas Zane was revealed to be like a double of Alan Wake. He looks exactly like Alan Wake, apparently. So, anyway, without further ado, let's start this game. Let's see what we're getting into, and let's go. Go through my options here. Give me 1 second. So one other thing to mention while I'm going through these menus, PS5 only lets me record an hour stretch at a time, so I'll be cutting these videos short at about an hour for all of them. Anyway, that should be fun. Let's go. Normal is fine. Here we go.
Back to the beginning. We all come to a story with hopes and expectations, looking for an answer. Sometimes it would be better to live with that hope without ever knowing the full story. In a horror horror story, there are only victims and monsters. And the trick is not to end up as either. But trapped by the genre, we are all ripped to pieces along the way. This is not the story I hoped it would be. This is not the ending I wanted. This story will eat us alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.
I'm not sure where to go here.
Hey, kiddo. How are you?
I'm good, Mom. How are you?
This trip might take a little longer than I thought. I'm sorry I've been gone so much lately, Logan.
Oh my god, Mom, it's not your fault people get all murdery. What happened?
Just work stuff.
Right. Well, Dad and I are just watching the latest episode of Night Springs here. Mom, it's so good.
No spoilers! I'll let you get back to the show. You were supposed to wait and watch with me. I love you both.
This is what happens when you go on work trips, Mom. Love you too. And say hi to Casey. Tell him to stop brooding so much.
Logan? I will. Bye, kiddo. Logan thinks you should try cheering up.
Snarky kid. Wonder where she gets that from.
It can't be a coincidence that another body turns up just as we arrive in town. Feels like the killer's leaving us a message.
I'm glad you're on this case with me, Anderson. It's right up your alley. You should take lead. Think of me as the backup.
Okay. Any words of advice?
Nothing that would cheer anyone up. Here we are. Cauldron Lake.
Time to get to work. A deputy was supposed to be here to show us to the crime scene. There's the car, so where's the deputy?
Eaten by a bear? I'll check out that map. Worth memorizing before we get swallowed up by the trees.
I should take a look at that map.
Okay, I think I can talk now. I'm gonna try real hard not to talk during cinematics and shit. You guys probably can't get the same experience watching these pre-recorded videos, but the audio direction in that intro, like I'm using the PS5 like Pulse 3D headset while I'm playing this, and the way they use the bass in that intro is like, oh, that was so fucking good. That intro was fucked up also. I am like 100% in on this game. Also, I think this is Alex Casey, which is wild to me because Alex Casey is a fictional character that Alan Wake wrote about in his books. What the fuck? I'm taking in the sights. This game looks gorgeous. So, I'm also probably going to be going really slow through this game. I am a absolute fiend for story and visual storytelling. And I will be reading every fucking document that we come across. Alright, let's look at this map. Okay, we're right here. Rental cabins. Like, right now I'm wondering if there's any locations I would recognize from Alan Wake 1. Witch's hut. Okay. Oh, there's the radio station. Okay, you went there in Alan Wake 1. Cauldron Lake Lodge. Mind Place, Cauldron Lake. What the hell does that mean? Okay.
You're the one who wanted to switch.
I think I hear someone.
I'm not walking along.
Could be our deputy.
I can go take a look.
Quit your belly aching, Thornton. I'm up here now. That's just how the cookie crumbles. Hey, over here. Hey there. Agent Casey, right? Sheriff Breaker said you'd be coming by to take over the case.
You're half right. Anderson?
Saga Anderson. I'll be leading this case. Seems you already know my partner, Alex Casey.
Shoot. Sorry about that, ma'am. I'm Deputy Mulligan. I just figured that, Federal agents right here, Thornton. My partner, Thornton, down at the crime scene. He's not what you call the sharpest axe in the shed.
Right here? What do you mean? Are they with you? Oh, shit! They didn't hear me, did they?
So, this is Alex Casey. This is so cool.
What can you tell us about the crime scene?
Tell them about the heart.
I was getting to that, Thornton. Well, we reckon there are some organs that are currently outside the victim's person when they should be, well, inside.
Were there any witnesses?
Yeah, a couple out-of-towners. I wonder what they were doing sneaking around the woods at night.
Mention the city folk. It's pretty suspicious.
Not that we have anything against city folk, right, Thornton? But don't worry. Sheriff Breaker took them back to town a while ago.
I want to see the body. How do we get there?
Oh, sure, that's real simple. Just through the hole in the fence, down the hill towards the lake, around the old convenience store. You can't miss it. Everything's been closed since the area was fenced off. The store, the campground, all of it.
Hey, Mulligan, tell them I'm here waiting. I'll show them around.
They got it, Thornton.
Before we get to the crime scene, there's time to review the facts of the case so far. Make sure I'm seeing the clues clearly.
The Mind Place.
The Mind Place. My version of the Mind Palace technique. To sift through clues and work the case. Building the Mind Place again for each case. Using each field office as a model in my head. The facts are on the board.
Okay. Okay, so we got the map here. I'll take a look around before I investigate that wall. See what this stuff on the desk says. The Greater Washington area. Okay. Must be Alex Casey. Alright. Let's go check this out.
Everything we know about the previous murders. Worth taking another look.
Okay. All victims reported missing in 2010. No other commonalities. So that's the year of Alan Wake 1. Ted Ling, dentist, stab wounds, bloating, bruising on the wrists. Victim was reported missing in 2010, discovered in 2012, buried in a shallow grave. Okay. Wendy Davis, teacher, body bloated, large chest wound. Found in Cauldron Lake, 2018. Okay, that was way after Alan Wake. Some organs missing. Predation. State of the body does not match 8 years spent in a lake. Percy Wolf, store owner, bruising, heart removed, strange tattoos. Found 2 weeks ago. Chest wound was ruled as cause of death. Tattooing on the body is illegible. Okay. Alright, what do we got over here? Confidential homicide, Cauldron Lake murders. Okay. A series of murders have occurred around the town of Bright Falls. Finding the connections will help our search for the killer. Okay, a slight difference in murders. Bloating, only commonality in bodies, but not cause of death. Chest trauma. Exposure to water post-mortem. Alright. All these graphic images, dude. Bruising on wrists and legs. 2 of the victims had bruising. Some form of restraint. Strapped or belted down. Deep gash in the chest. Heart missing. Most recent victim died of major chest trauma. Consistent with 2018 victim. Hard to confirm due to condition of body. All bodies experienced bloating. Gross. Bloating of the corpse is indicative of drowning, but only 1 victim was found in water. Interesting. Killer profile. Post-mortem tattooing of the body. Victim 3 was covered in illegible tattoos. A message from the killer, maybe, or their art. The murder targets have no discernible common traits. Apart from going missing in 2010, the victims have nothing apparent in common. Chest trauma resembles animal butchery techniques. Hunter may be a sportsman or hunter. So in Alan Wake 1, Bright Falls seems to be like a very hunting focused town, like deer hunting and stuff. And they had this event that was about to start during the events of Alan Wake 1 called Deer Fest. So I bet that's like a theme of these guys. Oh, we can look at the map too. Okay. All right. Okay, let's exit for now.
I see you're already hard at work, Anderson. Close to cracking it?
We're just getting started. Let's head down the hill to the crime scene.
It does not pause the game.
Okay, nature. Gives me a
Interesting.
headache. There's too much sky.
Yeah, this dude's gritty, all right. All right, let's go.
Hey, Casey. You putting me in charge. Why now?
Look, Anderson, you're a better detective than I am. You've cracked cases that had the rest of us baffled. I don't want to slow you down.
Are you thinking of retiring? You know what happens to cops who say this is their last case.
Mm-hmm. Real funny, Anderson.
Rental cabins. Can I go up here? There we go. Does a hike a day keep depression away? It might be a bright sunny July, but it's never soon to start worrying about the gloomy months of autumn ahead. That's right. In the grand scheme of life, those dead, depressing days are just around the corner. Have you been taking your vitamin D? Probably not. But for all of you thinking, how do you scroll down? Hold on, I can't figure out these controls. Oh, that's the entire text. Okay, you can't scroll. But for all of you thinking there's got to be another way, there's good news. Hiking has been proving to be incredibly beneficial to your mental and emotional health. So get on out there and do it. Just don't forget a flashlight in case it gets dark. Alright. Bright Falls' own virtual baking champ. Little Sally Upton's whole family erupted into cheers when she won the big match this weekend. Was she playing soccer? Tennis? No. In this brave new world we live in her family. In this brave new world that we live in, her family was cheering on as she won a match in a game that exists only on the information superhighway. The game in question was Mega Baking Star, in which players compete to make the tastiest treats and sweetest eats for their virtual judges online. Bright Falls congratulates Sally on her big win. Okay. Missing Doberman found on the trail. A heartfelt reunion took place this weekend when Mrs. Amanda Smith was reunited with her beloved dog, Coffee Bean. CB, as his owner refers to him, had been missing for 3 days, and Mrs. Smith was afraid that she would never see her best friend again. When I got the call, I couldn't believe my ears, she said. I must have asked, am I dreaming? At least 7 or 8 times. It was actually 9 times, confirmed Ranger Stevenson, the man responsible for finding the wayward canine. It's rare that you get to give those kinds of calls, and I feel real grateful to have had the opportunity. What with all the predators out there, usually you're telling folks you found their dogs dead, their cats eaten, you know. And so it felt real good to give some good news, even if Coffee Bean is in kind of rough shape. The fur will grow back, sure, but, well, I suppose that's all I should say about that. Oh man. So this dog kinda probably got messed up. I'm sure this is just like exposition and stuff right now. Chaos at Cauldron Lake. Rampage at the rental cabins. Unidentified man attacks vacationers in the dead of night. Sunday. An idyllic evening of barbecuing and late-night fishing was violently disrupted Saturday as a mysterious assailant attacked park visitors, causing chaos and destruction at the cabins. The incident left 3 people injured, one of which has been admitted to the county hospital. As for whether the attacker is still at large, Bright Falls police have yet to make an official statement, leaving local residents in a state of uncertainty. Witnesses to the crime were visibly shaken, one of whom stated, "One minute we were laughing and toasting some marshmallows. The next we heard screaming coming up from the cabins. We didn't know what was going on, so we called the police and started running in the opposite direction," said Kurt Mill. Another eyewitness who preferred to remain anonymous said, "It's like he appeared out of nowhere. Suddenly my dog starts barking his head off and this psycho guy comes crashing through the trees. I don't think he'll ever feel safe in this forest again." A representative from the rental cabins, who chose to remain anonymous, wanted to remind customers, if you have plans to stay in our lovely cabins later this summer, please get in touch with us, as we may need to rejigger some of the reservations based on the state of the cabin that you have rented with us. The representative went on to further remind future and potential guests of the wonderful amenities that can be found in the company's brochures and on the website, which is real nice, state of the art. My nephew made it and he's a real computer whiz. Weird. Okay. Alright, anything over here? Alright. Don't know if you go up here later or not. Let's try.
I'm gonna go check something out. Be right back.
Got it.
Okay. Can't go through here yet.
Good to see you still in one piece, Anderson. Forest can be a dangerous place.
Starting fires is prohibited. Do not feed wildlife. Leave no trace. Okay.
Stairs are out. You okay to jump down?
I'm not that old.
Mirror Peak. The mighty mountain in the distance is no other than Mirror Peak, the iconic landmark overlooking Cauldron Lake. From the right angle, its beauty will be reflected on the calm surface of the lake, mirrored in all its inverted glory. Okay. Thinking that's maybe like an upside down alternate dimension type of reference. Let's keep going. Oh. Is this the path that one guy in the intro took? And I think that's the guy who got his heart cut out and shit. Yeah.
I'll be back in a second.
Roger.
There's like a big trail going all the way that way. Okay. Can you get to the map? Hold on. Okay, I guess you gotta... Also, that transition is really fast. That's actually pretty impressive. That's so cool. Alright. First rule of gaming. Go the direction you're not supposed to go first. Mortar Falls. This powerful feat of nature will revive the spirit as it does the surrounding nature. The churning, grinding waters at the bottom of the falls resemble a mortar and pestle, quite like the one the Witch of Cauldron Lake is fabled to have used to travel through the night sky. Witch of Cauldron Lake is new to me. Okay, maybe like an urban legend type of thing.
Is that a kid's lunchbox? An Alex Casey movie lunchbox. Casey hates the endless jokes about coincidentally having the same name as a fake detective.
He
Ah,
hates those cheesy crime books, but he really hates the movies.
so he's potentially just coincidentally sharing a name with that character. But, I mean, this is Alan Wake, come on. My dad used to say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Not sure where the tough get going to, but maybe you'll find it inspiring. Manuscript fragments. Okay. Manuscript fragments can be used to upgrade weapons in the Mind Place. Okay. What are we doing here? You need a lot of these. Auto fire. I mean, I haven't even done any combat yet, so, I mean... Where would you go to... Oh, weapon upgrade. Okay. Cool.
Did you get lost, Anderson?
Not a bad place to get murdered.
If getting back to nature is your thing.
Sure did get lost.
Damn. Should have brought an umbrella.
I like the rain. The only thing around here that feels like home.
You think the local law had the sense to put up a tarp?
If they did, next coffee's on me.
Oh, the fog looks so good, dude. Alright, I'm going to play it safe. Let me cut this video here, and I'll just pick it back up in just a second. That way, I don't have to end the video in the middle of something crazy. So, I'll see you guys in the next video, and we will continue Alan Wake 2.